Hi guys, it's Monday again, and that means it's time for something orky, and today I wanted to take a look at some orky terrain. Right then, so I'll start off by showing you a concept I was working on a few years ago. Those of you who've been watching the channel for a while will recognise these buildings here. Now these were buildings I made for the Infinity game, or Infinity the game, and what they are is they're plasticard, and they're cut with my plasticard cutting machine, so they're nice and precise, and they've got some coloured plasticard on them, so that basically the idea was you couldn't scratch them and they can be chucked in a box and they won't get damaged. And some pretty cool details here with different thicknesses of plasticard. Right, and the ingenious thing about these, if I do say so myself, is the fact that they come apart. So if I chuck it upside down, the top bit comes out, it's held up by these bits here, and then the whole thing just comes apart like that. And the idea being is that you can swap out these wall sections and these end bits here freely, and also the top bit here as well. And then obviously these signs, I made a couple of different variations of these signs, but that's not what you came to see. So I was looking at the video I did last week. Put a link up there. If I don't forget, there should be a link in the description. I was looking at the wall that I showed you guys last Monday, and I noticed that it looked like a boundary wall for like a shanty town, almost a mech town for orcs. So I wanted to see, can I do something similar to what I've done here, but for orcs? So naturally, I dug out the old box where I had like ridiculous amounts of this, because I'd built a whole table full, and of course for Infinity you need pretty dense amounts of the scenery, and I went about making a prototype. So you'll see here I've only detailed one of these sides really. I put a little bit of detailing on most of them, but there's only one of these sides actually has the rivets and the bolts on it. The roof has a little bit of bolts on it. Of course this would look much better once it's got rust and other detailing on it, and I've gone for this very basic design with the spiky bits across the top there, but basically this uses exactly the same friction fit system that the old Infinity scenery does. In fact, I actually reused one of those pieces. In fact, you can see here one of the walls actually has an Infinity door on the back of it. I cut the thing apart basically and reused it, and a piece has fallen off. So you can see here that the back of the roof has the same latches on it that fit into these little latches on the back here, and we've got the same system here that holds it all together. All I've done here is I've replaced these little green things here, which cover up the triangles that hold the end walls on. Covered it up with these end plates that you can see here. One of these should have some kind of detailing on it. There we go. So this one here has got these end plates on it. Simple as that. And then these end pieces here have just got that detailing on it there. It all lies flat. Of course, I probably shouldn't have made these end bits quite as big as they are. The design still needs some work, because of course if this thing is supposed to flat pack, well, it doesn't, does it? Because, well, they're fairly bulky, as you can see. No matter how you stack these now, they won't flat pack, as you can see. Certainly not to the degree that the other ones did. That's about as flat as the building is going to go, and then of course put the stuff in it. It's as flat as it's going to go, which will store fairly well, but not as well as I would like it to. So that is my plan. My hope is that I can put together, to refine the design for one, because of course this is just a prototype design idea. proof of concept sort of thing. I want to see if I can refine the idea, get it working, and then build a whole mech town. And again, those of you who've seen the videos I basically had ways where two of these buildings could be put next to each other, and there were extension kits where there was a bit that went in between, and a double roof that went across the top, so you can make a long one. I'm also toying with the idea of potentially having angular bits like that, so that not all of the buildings have completely square structures, because of course orcs, they wouldn't have perfectly square buildings. Let's be honest, it's just not how they roll, literally. So yeah, I'm liking the idea. So it was all inspired by my last video where I saw that boundary wall and thought, I need to build something to go inside that boundary wall, build myself a mech town, and I figured this would be the perfect opportunity. Make it look proper shanty, proper built out of panels of metal, just like the wall itself. Make it nice and solid. Loads of models can go on top, and yeah, loving it. Let me know what your thoughts are, guys, especially in terms of the design and the angled walls and things. I think I probably need to put some windows ideas and doors maybe, because of course at the moment this is just a block of metal sheets. There's no way of getting in. So it serves no purpose. Maybe a hatch on top here for orcs to come in and out. It serves no purpose. And then maybe we can have some walkways, because of course the Infinity Train also had walkways that latched onto the top, which went in between that models could run across. These, at the moment, with this current design of having these teeth on the top, those walkways won't actually work. So that's something to think about. Interesting. I hadn't thought of that until just now, but yeah, that is interesting. So I might need to change the design up a little, but I'm liking the idea, and I think once these are all painted up in that sort of rusty, browny awesomeness with some dust across the bottom, they're going to look awesome on the table. And it's also going to be just some scenery I can throw down on the middle of the table, just to bring it to life. So if I bring you back to this here, you can see I've set it up here because I was playing around with some camera angles. I was playing around with a camera. If you watch my Gorkamorka battle report, you'll see that we mounted a camera up the top here to give us a top-down camera angle, and of course that camera can pick up this entire table, this 6x4, and as it stands at the moment, this is pretty sparse when it comes to scenery, and even with the fort on it, it's fairly sparse. So if I can have a bunch of these dotted around the place, it's line of sight blocking, and even just a couple of those, maybe 4 or 5, really adds to the amount of scenery. Scenery, I was going between scenery and terrain there. Really adds to the scenery and the terrain on that table, so it'll really add to the look of the table. And you don't need to worry about whether things can see through them, and models can go on top as well, which is pretty cool. Anyway, I think I've spoken far too long about what is essentially just a really simple plastic box. But yeah, I'm quite enthused by it because I got quite excited about these things way back in the day, and it's been a really good usage of the old way of doing it. And of course I can use the designs that I had and the schematics of running it through the old cutting machine to get the basic pieces out, and then it's just a matter of adding orky details to it. So I'm quite excited. It brings the two worlds together, the old and the new. Right then, yeah, keep up with me in between videos over here. I want to say thank you to my new patrons. I've had some new patrons. They're supporting me, which is an amazing help. It's going a huge way in helping me pick up new equipment. I'm hoping to get a new camera in the next few months, which is really going to go a huge way in helping me to start recording this sort of thing, do some new battle reports and whatnot. So a huge thanks to those. Huge thanks to those guys. Yeah, so thank you very much for watching, and hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Stay well, guys.